Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Anil Joshi. Welcome you to my series that is ebook of radiography covering different radiographic aspects of the radiology. It is especially designed for the technicians or the technologists or the medical imaging technology students who are aspiring to be a radiographers. So also for the junior residents of the radiology who are aspiring to be a radiologist in future. A basic is important. Unless there is a good radiograph, you cannot give a good interpretation. A proper diagnosis can be missed if a radiograph is not taken properly. So it has to be an important thing to have precise knowledge as regard how to take a correct radiograph, what are the structure to be seen in it, and if you are seeing some structures, you are seeing some pathology, which view is the best for that, you have to know. That is because of the radiographical basic are important, angulations are important, so also how you center the tube, how you radiograph anatomical part are also important in all these things. With all this brief introduction, we'll go to disclaimer. Now this is a series that is Learn Radiology Basics with Dr. Anil Joshi. Today's topic is the mandible lateral oblique, TM joints and mastoid lateral oblique views. Now these are the two different aspects. One thing is mandible oblique and mastoid obliques. There are different projections, there are different names to it, and there are different techniques to it. TM joints can be radiographed by the conventional radiography. So also there is a specific technique available, that is the OPG, and you can take the TM joints on OPG. The advantage of open and closed mouth is equal on both, that is on conventional also as well as on the OPG technique also. Now we have to briefly disclosures. Most of the material in this series, most of the radiographs, what are the videos are from us. Videos are prepared in our medical college by the IT department and a photography department, and most of the illustrations are our own. Now it is to be noted that radiography is a radiation modality. A care will be taken to minimize side effects of the radiation by the technologist, to protect patients, staff in the radiography room, to achieve a maximum beneficial effects. A strict discipline and precaution is must. We have to follow instruction given by the technologist and we have to cooperate with him, because he is taking precautions by different radiographic techniques. Let's know what these are. They are called also principle of radiation protection. One is distance, because radiation follows inverse square law. The second is speed and exposure time. Now if you give a short exposure, there will be less radiation. So what a technologist does is he gives more MA to achieve same MMAs by reducing exposure time. Then there are barriers used for protecting patients, for protecting himself while taking the radiographs. So we have to cooperate him. Now these are the sagittal plane, these are the certain planes which we should know, that is the sagittal, coronal, as well as there are certain lines like anthropological line, orbitomeatal line and interpupillary line. By and large, what most commonly used is the orbitomeatal line. It is referred as OML in the lecture or in the subsequent illustrations. Now let us go for first is mandible lateral oblique. Mandible lateral oblique is one of the most essential to know the pathologies, especially when there is a history of trauma, dental pathologies, particularly that of the molar origin, first, second, third molar, they are best seen by this projection. Then malignancy for their staging and for grading if it is involving the angle, then ramus, that can be best seen with these lateral oblique projections. Of course, OPG is the second better available choice. Now what are the structures seen are the various cellular groups which are projected in this radiograph are with a superimposition of the internal and external acoustic metastasis, the lateral sinus plate and the emissary vein posterior to the mastoid process. These are the structures seen. So, which are the structures seen? Various cellular groups that are delineated in this projection along with superimposition of the internal and external acoustic metastasis. They are overimposed, they are superimposed. So what is the skill of a technologist is to get them separated. Now that we achieve with the help of patient positioning as well as different angulation, which we are going to see in a subsequent lecture. The lateral sinus plate and the emissary vein posterior to the mastoid process are also visualized in this technique. Now the position of patient is sitting or standing. That is because it is the speed of the turnover of the patient that you can do faster with the sitting or standing patients. Prone on the table, sometimes they are required because of the patient's position, he cannot stand, and in that case the required side should touch the cassette, whether patient sitting or prone. A pathological side or area of interest side should touch the cassette. Then what is the central ray is over the mandible touching cassette at 25 degrees cephalad. We are going to see it in more details subsequently. Now angulation of 15 can be up to less as 15 degrees. So 15 to 25 degrees angulation are required. Distance is 100 centimeter, film size is 10 by 12, and the bucky is yes. Why the different angulations are required? We are going to see it when we will be seeing a video. That patient's obliquity, patient's shoulder position greatly limits the angulation. If patient is cooperative, he can pull the shoulder down, we can give up to 25 degrees, but often we have to give less angle because of these two limitations. This view is useful in separation of anatomical structures of the middle ear as a prerequisite for fenestration operations. Now this is a ENT operation. When they need it, when they have to go for it, then they ask for this projection. It is due to the variability in anatomical position and variation. It is difficult to duplicate this view from patient to patient because there are different angulation, different anatomical structures. So what we best suggest is go for one X-ray and modify it accordingly. We are going to see it when we will come to the film reading. Then place the head in a lateral position on the side of interest against IR. So patient should close the mouth and extend neck to clear the mandible of the cervical spine. Now a projection for mastoid and projection for TM joints are fairly similar, except in TM joint we have to go for a open and closed mouth views, which in case of mastoid we don't have to. Now rotate the head in an oblique direction. The degree of obliquity depends upon the section of the mandible that is of the interest. Again we'll see it more with the help of films. Now this is a lateral oblique projection which we are discussing, and this was the position of the patient. Here we are showing it in diagrammatically. Now the angle is 25 degrees cephalad. Now this 25 degrees depend on the how much patient allows you, because if we see the position, the shoulder joint needs to be moved properly. Now let us see in the video properly what I was saying. Patient is prone on the table. Now we have to find out which is the pathological side that has to touch the table. Now this is a very similar position of the head, that of the skull lateral. So that position is given first. Now second step is to extend the chin and to adjust the shoulder. Shoulder adjustment, because we are going to give angulation, and that angulation is going to be decided by the shoulder position. Now what we are doing, extend the neck, elevate the chin and try to give the angulation. Now he has given first 15 degrees, then he has extended it towards the 25 degrees if possible. Now here again the area of interest is a molar region, angle of the mandible, so the centering is done accordingly. Now you have to check whether the shoulder position is coming properly or not. So a technologist is happy, the position is correct, now he can go for the exposure. So this is a correct position of the mandible oblique. The affected side, pathological side, area of interest touches the table. Now same projection can be done with patient standing. Here it is shown. Standing is easy because it allows a larger turnover. Now practically it is same, except now you can see that sometimes the adjustment needs to be. Now this is a vertical bucky, the cassette is put inside. Now the bucky has to be elevated up. Now he will elevate the bucky because the center of the cassette, center of the bucky and the central ray has to coincide with each other. So that is by the vertical bucky. But here a more angulation is easily achievable. Now he is happy, technician happy, the angulation is correct, the central ray is correct on the mandible angle, and X-ray can be shoot. Now what are the structures seen? A temporal bone, then mandibular condyle, parietal bone, mastoid air cells, and external auditory meatus. See, we have separated two sides. The projection in lateral will overlap them, and it will be difficult to separate them in a lateral, which is right and which is left. But here, because of angulation we have achieved is both sides are separated, and the side which is near to the cassette, near to the table, will be projected properly. And the angulation, what it has done is, it has separated both side mastoids from each other, number one. And number two, another technique which employ is reduce the distance of tube. What that will do is, it is called as the magnification technique. The side towards film will not have magnification, and it will be seen clearly, versus the side which is away from the film, which get magnified and obscured. So this is the second modification of little modification that can give you a better result. So that can be easily done. Now for confirmation of radiographic angle, you can have 0 to 30 degrees depending on patient's constituency, depending on the radiograph part to be imaged. It differs. If you are imaging different parts, like if you are imaging more anterior part, that should come closer to the film, while the angle of mandible in that case will get distorted. While exactly other will happen, that if you want to the radiograph, the area of interest is that of the molar region, then the angle of mandible will touch the cassette, and the angulation will be adjusted according to the availability of the or position of the table, number one. Number two, how patient can extend. If patient is traumatic, sometimes he cannot close the mouth, then again you will have to adjust the angle accordingly. Now we are showing you different. Now here see what we are saying, by rotating the head in different oblique position, different sections of the mandible can be projected as per area of interest. Now you can see here, we'll see from this side. Here you are seeing is a molar region, versus the incisor region is not well seen. Now here what we are seeing is further more angle, because of which even the molar angle will get obscured, and only angle of mandible and vertical ramus, which will not see here, will be seen here. And this is the last projection, which gives you a mastoid of this side, that is side closer to the film. And if you give more angulation, the mandible will get distorted. So to obtain a proper lateral oblique projection, a position of patient is very, very important. Now we'll go to the next projection, that is TM joints. Now TM joints can be taken by lateral oblique. As we have seen, these projections are same as that of the Schuller's view by Schuller's view. We take Schuller's view for the mastoids, but even TM joint will be well projected. And the other is by orthopentography, where the technique will be described separately. Because in OPG there is not much positioning of the table, except if we are projecting TM joint, we have to take open and closed mouth views. So what are the indication? Is the painful conditions of the joint or jaw, that is the trauma. Second is any infective process, arthritis, especially rheumatoid can affect it. Then any painful condition of the TM joint, whether traumatic, inflammatory or otherwise, these X-rays are indicated. And the dynamism, that is open and closed mouth views, are essential, which we are going to see in OPG radiographs, that what exactly it gives us the idea about the functioning of the joint. Then instruction to the patient, the denture should be removed, so also jewelry, then earrings and anything from the hair needs to be removed. Patient should be asked to open mouth or close mouth whenever the requirement is. We have to take open mouth, close mouth. When it is closed mouth, it is clenching. When it open mouth, patient should open mouth as wide as possible. Then the line from outer corner of the eye to opening of ear to the ear should be perpendicular. Now this is a way in which we are taking. Patient can be either prone or standing. Then patient should be asked to open the mouth as wide as possible or clench it as per the indications. the line from the outer corner of the eye to the open ear should be perpendicular. Eye to ear, perpendicular. Distance 100. Film size 10 by 12. Bucky, yes. Now see it, the angle is cephalad. Now we are talking of the mastoid by Schuller's method, that is lateral oblique. Now these are the OPG machines. Let us see. These are the anatomical structures seen. Now we have to see how the OPGs are taken. OPGs are taken for TM joints. This is a 10 by 12 cassette which is introduced. Then a technique is set. Now here what it does is, it is a radiation saving measures. So it will rotate twice, but it will expose only when it is in the area of TM joints. You get two TM joints, that is open mouth and closed mouth. So every time first you take with the closed mouth, then you repeat the procedure with open mouth. Only difference is instruction to the patient. The machine sets by itself. First rotation it will take one view, and next rotation it will take another view of both TM joints. So all the four, that is two sides, open and closed mouth views, will be projected on the same film, and we get dynamic projections. So here, though the radiograph is taken twice, the radiation is not given twice, it is only given once. At one, patient opens mouth, and in second, patient closes mouth. The film goes to processor, that is reader. This is a CR film, and this is taken for the what are structures seen? External auditory meatus, then TM joint, condyle, and TM joint with mouth closed. How you know mouth closed? Is a TM joint is seen in the glenoid. In open mouth, now here we are seeing the TM joint. This is the condyle which moves forward. So moving forward is a function of the TM joint which can be dynamically assessed by means of radiographs. Now here what we are seeing, open mouth, and here closed mouth. Open mouth, the condyle slides forward from the glenoid. Here this is a TM joint. In that, this is the glenoid, this is the condyle, which are in approximation. So this is a dynamic movement which can well be shown by the open and closed mouth views of a TM joint. Now here we are showing you how excellently OPG gives the idea. Now all the four films are of the different patient. For the description, we'll take this. Now you are seeing a condyle, you are seeing the glenoid, and this is a closed mouth. This is a closed mouth. On opening, see it forwards. Now you have to level. Usually marker here is indicated right side. This is right TM joint, closed mouth, open mouth, left side. You can see the movement is not as good as that of the opposite side. So these are the pathologies we can detect with the help of open and closed mouth views. Versus the movement number 1, number 2 the joint spaces, number 3 the condyles. They can be excellently imaged with the help of these. The lower film you can see the condyle fractures. They are again here you can see with the help of OPG you can know these are the TM joints. Now these are the just routine OPGs which can also show you well visualization of the TM joints. Now let us go to the next projection, that is mastoid lateral oblique views. Now what are the different projections from mastoid? It is a lateral view. Lateral view is easy, but it has got lot of obscuration by both the sides. So we have to make patient lateral oblique. Now depending on angulations, there are different, like loss projection to Schuller's view, we are going to see in a different projection. Then is the Stenvers, then the transorbital view, sometimes it is called as PTO, Petrus orbit, that is the AP projection. Then the Townes projection, where the mastoids will be projected above the base of the skull and will allow us to make a comparative evaluation. Then the Mayer's view, Ower's view, and submentovertical, that is a basal view. Here also we can get it in a proper way. So these are the different projections which are used to visualize the mastoids. All projection has got its own plus and minuses. They have got advantages as well as disadvantages, and often you require to have multiple radiographs for same pathology. Now, indication of trauma, ear discharge, hearing problems, instruction of patient, or dentures should be removed. So also facial, jewelry, earrings and anything from the hairs. Then patient should be asked to open mouth as much as possible or close it, clench it as per the indications. The line from the outer corner of the eye to the opening of the ear should be perpendicular. So let us summarize it. Patient's position sitting or standing. Patient should be asked to keep the mouth as per the instructions. Then line from the outer corner of the eye to the opening of ear should be perpendicular. That again we are seeing the tube angle differs as per the indications, and there can be different projection, different details can be achieved with the help of different angles. Now let us go to in detail of it. The various cellular components are quite clearly delineated along with a superposition of the internal and external acoustic metastasis. The lateral sinus plate and the emissary vein posterior to the mastoid process are also visualized. There are different lateral oblique projections described, however, following are of practical importance. That is Law's projection 15 degrees oblique to the cephalocaudal line. The Schuller's method is up to 30 degrees oblique to the cephalocaudal line. Now this 30 degrees, this 15 degrees can be modified depending on the situation, depending on the clinical indication and depending on the patient's comfort. Now what is Mayer's position? This view especially is useful in separation of the anatomic structures of the middle ear as a prerequisite for fenestration operations. It is difficult to duplicate this view from patient to patient, and hence the anatomic depiction is somewhat variable. Now here we are showing you a routine and standard method. First is Schuller's method. The caudal angulation is up to 30 degrees. However, from 15 degrees Law to Schuller's 30 degrees, any angle depending on the requirement, depending on the permutation may be required to be done. So here we are saying 30 degrees caudal. Head position is same as that of the skull lateral. Then what are the anatomical details of the mastoid in lateral oblique? Is a temporomandibular joint, then external auditory meatus, mastoid air cells and the condyles of the mandible. Now this we can get TM joint also here. This is the TM joint, and we can get mastoid also, a pneumatization of the mastoid. The sinus and dural plates are of the practical importance while reporting. Then if we go for a TM joint, we have to go for an open and closed mouth. If we have to go for a more detailed view, then we can change the angulation and obtain the area of interest we want. Now let us see a video of same. Instruction to the patient is most important. The position is same as that of the skull lateral. So patient lies prone, the required side touches the table. Now you have to put it on the line of the table. Depending on the patient's height, you will have to adjust patient. Now patient height is adjusted. Patient goes below or above as per the requirement. Then is the angulation to the tube. Now angulation of the tube depend on the requirement of the anatomical structure to be seen. Now distance sometime is the, now we are checking the angle, how much angle we can give. So this is the meter on the table, and we can differ the angle right up to 30 degrees. If it is 30 degrees, it is Schuller's. Then if it is 15 degrees, it is Law. Depending on the projection required, we are giving angle. Now angle is clear. Distance can be sometimes short, that is 75, or it can be 100 depending on the indications. Now here we are adjusting the distance. Now distance is adjusted to 100. If we reduce the distance, there will be magnification. So magnification will be more of the joint, the TM joint, away from the cassette, and the mastoid which is in contact with the cassette will not be distorted or magnified. So that is how we give these angulations. Angulation has to be correct. Now I'll show you different projections. What is different? Check the mandible, condyle and the positions here. the more angle you give, these will get more separated and distorted. So if you want to visualize the structures accordingly, you can make it angle less or more. Loss projection 15, then Schuler's 30. You can make it in between as per the requirements. Now I will show you different taken. If you see in more detail, you can see the mandible has getting more and more distorted. More and more angle distortion, more and more is the angle, more is the distortion, not only of the mandible. If the mastoid get distorted, that means your position is not perfect skull lateral. So one thing, position has to be skull lateral, and you will have to give cephalar angulation. If there is also the angulation of the mandible along with it, then you will have difficulty in both the angulation and distort everything, and you will not get good pictures as you are seeing in this picture. The angulation is given to both. It is not proper skull lateral position. Number 1, number 2, cephalar angulation may be correct, but the distortion of the mandible is too much. So distortion of mandible gives you a correct idea whether the Schuler view is taken properly or not. 15 degrees will give least, and 25 degree or 30 degrees will give you maximum. So you will have to get a correct projection of the mastoid with free of distortion for proper evaluation. Now let us come to mastoid by AP projection. Why mastoid by AP projection? In AP you can get a symmetrical view. Now why symmetrical? You can compare both the mastoid right and left. So if you want to compare right side and left side or mastoid in a single projection, you will have to go for a AP projection. It will give you symmetrical. Mastoid and ear pathologies like chronic ear discharge or hearing loss are the indications, then trauma, then inflammatory swelling around the ear. Now what is the radiographic technique? A denture should be removed, also jewelry, earrings, anything from the hairs. Patient is asked to open the mouth. Now this depends on the position of mandible. Now if you do not want mandible to disturb you, you open it. If mandible is not disturbing, then there is no point in asking patient to open or close the mouth. Patient just keep it as per their convenience. Then the line from the outer canthus of the eye to the opening of ear should be perpendicular, that is OML. Now position of the patient is supine, angle is 30 degrees with OMLs superior to glabella, then angulation 30 degrees caudal, then tubular distance is 100, Bucky is required. Now here patient lies supine on the table, the both arms and forearms are relaxed on the side of the patient, the neck is flexed to make the orbitomeatal line perpendicular, so that orbitomeatal baseline is perpendicular to IR. The medial sagittal plane should be perpendicular to IR. Patient's head is supported to make him immobilized. That is one of the basic principle of radiography, that if patient moves, you will get a blur picture. So you will have to immobilize patient as much as possible. Now central ray is angulated 30 degrees caudal to the radiographic baseline, that is OML, and centered at 6 cm superior to glabella. Now here we are showing you. Tons view 30 degrees, fronto-occipital. Now there are different views here. Transorbital view with orbitomeatal plane perpendicular to plane of the cassette or DR. So that we also call as petrous orbit. Townes gives 30 degrees angulation, so the petrous is projected above the base. In transorbital view, AP or PA, that is the PTO, petrous orbit, we get it through the orbit, but the mastoids are seen. Now let us see how the symmetrical mastoid AP by modified Townes view is taken. So first is instruction to the patient, second is positioning of the patient on the table, third is the angulation, this is AP projection, so we give angulation around 30 degrees as much as possible. Now patient chin needs to be depressed to get the orbitomeatal line perpendicular. Correct, that is patient chin is pressed down. Angulation is 30 degrees. Now you will have to check for the cassette's position. The projection will be towards caudal side, so cassette is adjusted in that way. that central ray will be over the mastoid and the projected will be over the center of the cassette. So once this is okay, the technician is happy, he goes for the exposure. What we see in this, see here, both the mastoids are projected over the base of the skull. What are the anatomical parts of the mastoid? In AP view, that is parietal bone, foramina magnum, then petrous ridge, mastoids, occipital bone, and the lambdoid suture. Here what you are seeing is the mastoids are projected above base of the skull. We can get a symmetrical visualization of both sides together. We can get a comparative aspect in this projection versus the lateral oblique will give you one at a time. The repetition or the right side and left side may be projected in some different angulation. So exact symmetry is not possible, which is possible in these X-rays. Now here I have shown you 3 radiographs. Now you tell me which is correct. In this what you are seeing, the petrous are not much projected above the base of the skull. Look at the foramina magnum. So they needs to be projected above. Here you are seeing, here also you are seeing. Now here they are slightly better visualized. Here they are slightly better, they have come slightly above, and here they have come perfectly above. So what is important here is you should see it above the base of the skull, and if required, the angle needs to be modified from patient to patient. Same angle may not hold good for 2 patients. With this, we are coming to end of our this present series. I thank you for giving me your valuable time. Please note, radiology is not a race, it's a process. Be a part of it and enjoy the feast of knowledge. The more efforts you make, more perfect you become, better you get the quality of the radiographs. A radiographer, if it is good, he detects only the fault in it, he detects any shortcomings in it, he corrects them and give a radiologist a perfectly anatomical required film so that the diagnosis will be correct and there will be less error. Patient will get immediate diagnosis, he will be cured. Now I acknowledge with thanks and gratitude my mentors, that is the management of BLDE deemed to be University, Sri B.M. Patil Hospital, Medical College and Research Center, Vijayapur, staff of the Radio Diagnosis Department for their active participation, IT and Photography Department, without whom this would not have been possible for me. Thank you. Do your best to the patient. Take care of yourself as well as that of the people who are depending on you, staff around you, the patient and their relatives. Try to give your best so that a team will give a best possible diagnosis for patient to get his disease cleared or to get relieved of pain.